Hi, stamping friends, it's Sherry Parker coming to you live on Wednesday, December 3rd. Thank you for joining me tonight. I know there's a lot going on, all the preparations for the holidays. And if you're like me, you're not done with everything. I haven't even really started decorating. I have my tree up, but that's really all. So still lots to do. But tonight I wanted to show you a really simple holiday card. If you're feeling motivated that maybe you want to make your cards, you can make tags, other little giftables. This is a really simple technique that you can use. So we'll stay tuned for that. But two quick things. Stampin' Up! Just launched the product of the month. It's a new promotion that goes year round. Every month it'll be a new product of the month. So for every $75 you spend in US dollars, for $5 you can buy the product of the month. And this month it's this True Blue Designer Series paper. It's very pretty. So as you log on to your account, so you just would go to your customer account. Then as you are adding things to your shopping cart, it tells you, how many more dollars you need to spend before you are eligible to purchase the product of the month. So it's a really good deal. Hi Felicia, hi Sheila, thank you for joining tonight. So I wanted to mention that's something new. So this replaces Celebration, if you're familiar with that. So Celebration is no more, but now there's this new product of the month. So it goes throughout the year. So kind of a fun way to spread the cheer all year long. Secondly, there's a Cyber Monday sale going on for Paper Pumpkin Kit subscribers. So check out my website at sherrythomas.stampinup.net. It gives more details, not only on the Cyber Monday sale for Paper Pumpkin, but also for the product of the month. So a lot more detail than I can give here and don't want to bore you anyway. So, all right, I think that does it for things I wanted to mention. I'm gonna turn my camera over and show you what we're gonna make tonight. All right, we're going to be using some different things. Some of the items are from the Holiday Mini Catalog, so they might look familiar. For example, we've got the traditional labels, which is a really, really cool die cut and stamp set. And then the branching out bundle, really gorgeous stamp sets, and I love these die cuts. They're super beautiful. So we'll be using those this evening, as well as the beautiful Designer Series paper, the Snowflake, I forget the name of it, but anyway, it's, here it always says on the back, so I'll cheat. The Elegant Pine Snowflake. So, and I've used this before. You can tell I've been using it a lot. It's one of my very favorites. And really, I've been showing the side of the paper that has the evergreens, but tonight we're going to use the other side. On each piece of paper, there's kind of a frosty pattern. Hi, Donna. So we're going to use that tonight and just show you some versatility there. All right, so what we're making tonight is a card, Christmas tree card, and we're using, really, the purpose is to use what you have. So you could use any stamp set because this is such a simple technique, but we're using like negative space. And the way we'll do that is, we'll start there. And we're going to use the piece that I cut out from the branching out dies. So the way you create that is you can use a Post-it note or 3, and you'll position them. So I'm making a Christmas tree, so I'm just going to make like a triangle shape. And the nice thing is here, you can always reposition because Post-it notes lift up super easily. So you kind of want to get it as close to a, triangle as you can. And if you don't like it, you can always lift it up and move it. So there's going to be my triangle for my Christmas tree. And then what I'm going to do is just fill in this negative space using any stamps. I am using the branching out with the shaded spruce ink here, and I'm just stamping right into that negative space there. And then the nice thing about the Post-it notes is that anything that spills over is on the Post-it note, not on your beautiful design. This stamp also has just a little spruce by itself, so I'll put him in there as well. And then you can fill in as you want. I thought it was kind of cool to add some berries. So I will use Real Red ink here. And then there's a pine cone that comes with this. So I will stamp a couple pine cones. using Early Espresso ink. And I think I filled it in pretty well and getting ink all over myself because I dropped my stamp in the pad. The last step here is I'm going to use a dauber, sponge dauber, and just fill in. So I will lightly sponge using that shaded spruce ink and just kind of filling in. And always go light to dark with this kind of thing because you can always get darker. And then I thought it would also be nice to add maybe another green. So I have some Old Olive here. This is a warmer green. And I thought, you know, trees are not just one solid color, are they? So we're filling in the gaps. Okay, so get it to how you want, of course. And then the magic happens when you lift up your Post-it notes. And look, just like that, we made a tree. How simple was that? And it takes literally no time, and supply-wise, any stamp set would work. If you didn't even want to use stamps, you could just use sponge daubers and have it be sponged in. So that is my Christmas tree. So I was looking around, you know, what do I have that would look like a trunk? Well, I didn't really have anything. So sometimes you have to be kind of creative. So I looked at my sign design stamp set here, and there's a little edge here that I thought, oh, that could probably work. So what I decided to do was to use a marker and just color just that edge there. And you could also just color directly with your marker, of course. And I'm gonna cover up my tree. And then I'm gonna stamp my, hopefully in the center, my trunk, and there you go. So that works. Sometimes you just have to think outside the box. Again, you could just color in your trunk with a marker. That'd be easy too. So we've got our tree. He's all done. You can make a bunch of these pretty quickly. So some of the other things I have to make this card to finish it up, I've got another little tag shape, and I was showing you this really cute traditional labels bundle, and that's where this came from. And so from that bundle, I picked out Merry and Bright. So the really cool thing about this is that all the words are separate, so you can make any combination of words that you want. So I just grabbed the Merry and the Bright, and thought I'm gonna stick that on this label. We'll see if I can get it on reasonably straight. Not too bad, sometimes better than others. And that really completes all the stamping. So now I get to assemble it. It'll be the fun part. I'm gonna go ahead and layer my tree onto the coordinating red piece, the branching out dies. And then I'll put I've cut out, this is just a random punch I had that was a star. But if you had a star stamp or something like that, that would work as well. But I thought I'd give it a little bit of dimension and put a 3D star on the top. And then we'll go ahead and get the card base assembled. So I've got a half sheet of white, folded in half, quarter sheet of red that's 5 1/4 by 4. So we'll layer that right onto there. Thanks, Felicia. I like to use the negative space because it can surprise you. The different shapes you can make. So again, I've used the reverse side of that beautiful snowflake paper that's that frosty image. And then last, I will pop this up using Stampin' Dimensionals. And probably one on each corner will work. It's a bigger piece. Turn it around. I'm going to position it a little bit closer to the top so that I have room for my grading. I'm just going to stick down the bottom there. And then you could change it up if you wanted, and you could have a red greeting, and then I embossed gold. Which do you like better? Do you like it with the red and gold, or do you like it with the white and red? I was sort of torn. Maybe this one will make the gold. Why not? And we'll position this at the base of our card. Give it a nice little look there. And then last, you can add some embellishments. You can add, you know, druzy dots or whatever you happen to have. I really love these holiday embellishments that we had this year. They sold out pretty quickly. I forgot to check before this to see if they were back in stock, but they're so shimmery and pretty. And then our last touch will be, I've picked up some gold twine, and I'm gonna double it up and just put this along the spine of our card. And I like to use twine. First of all, it's not so bulky to mail, and you can tie a knot pretty easily with it, versus ribbon sometimes can move around on you. But we'll just cut our ends here, and it adds a nice little, whoops, touch to the side of your card, like that. So there you go. And you could, of course, stamp something on the inside. That is our card. So what do you think? Do you like the negative space? I really think the possibilities are endless here. I love the idea of just using supplies that you have and creating shapes. I used Post-it notes tonight, but you could use stencils and different things that you might have lying around. So, you know, use the stuff you have. And of course, you know, if you need supplies and you want to order anything, you can go to my website at sherrythomas.stampinup.net. And we have lots of really beautiful online exclusives as well as the items that are in our catalogs. All right, enough of that. So last week's projects we made, there was a fun fold card. We made two different versions. We did a fall and then a holiday Christmas one. So again, this is the same designer series paper that I used tonight, just the reverse side. So really cute fun fold. I put the dimensions on my Facebook page, so if you go back, you can find it if you want to make this. So I've got two different versions here. We will draw everyone who comments on and shares every week. Your name is automatically entered in, and then I draw the names each week. So let me draw, and we'll first draw for the Season of Thanks card. Now I know Thanksgiving's over, but just think how ahead you are. And if you win this card, you know, you can reapply these dimensions for any different occasion. Karen Beck, you are the Season of Thanks winner. And then our holiday card winner is Donna Schneidmiller. Oh, she's a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Kentucky, so very fun. So congratulations to our winners. I do appreciate everyone who watches, comments on, and shares every week. And so I do appreciate you so, so much. So thanks again. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. It's almost Friday, kind of. It's a couple more days. We're in the middle of the week. So have a great rest of your week. Take care, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.